Welcome to our deep dive, everybody. We're tackling 50 Golden Rules of Life by Santosh Joshi.
A great choice.
I know, right? It's gotten praise from industry leaders and even government ministers.
It really is packed with wisdom.
So we're going to pull out the top nuggets, maybe like 5 to 7, that'll resonate with you guys listening. Get ready. This could be seriously life-changing.
Definitely. This isn't just like feel-good stuff.
Right.
Joshi gives us practical wisdom to deal with life and reach our potential.
All right, let's jump into golden rule number 1. Start your day with a positive thought. We've all had those mornings where everything goes wrong, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of sets the tone for the whole day, doesn't it? But the point here is the power of intention. Like, what if instead of focusing on all the bad stuff, you pick one good thought?
Yeah, so instead of that spilled coffee ruining your day, you think about, oh, I'm seeing a friend later, or,
Yeah.
something like that.
And it doesn't have to be something big, even just appreciating the sunshine or a good cup of coffee. It's all about setting that tone for a better, more productive day.
Okay, golden rule number 2. Always anchor in your core values. Joshi compares our values to an anchor, keeping us steady during those rough times.
It's a really good analogy. Think about it. When the world feels chaotic, it's easy to get pulled in different directions, right? But our values, those are our grounding force. They help us make decisions, stay true to ourselves.
But how do we even figure out what those core values are? It's not like they come with a label.
That's where self-reflection is key. Like, think. What are the things you absolutely won't compromise on? Could be honesty, compassion, maybe it's personal growth. Once you know those values, making decisions that fit with who you really are becomes so much easier.
So next time you've got a tough decision, think, how does this line up with my core values? It can make those choices so much clearer, and you'll be way more confident about them.
Absolutely. And don't forget all those pressures from society.
Yeah.
They can pull us away from those values. So check in with yourself often. Make sure your actions match up with your true north.
Golden rule number 3. Look at the world as a mirror. This is an interesting one. Joshi talks about how the way we see ourselves affects how other people see us.
Right. If you have a negative view of yourself, you're probably projecting that insecurity. And guess what? People pick up on that. But on the other hand, when you love yourself and recognize your own worth, you radiate confidence, and that attracts positive experiences.
So it's almost like what you put out is what you get back.
Exactly. And this is huge because all that pressure from society, comparing ourselves to others, it can seriously mess with our self-worth. We start seeing flaws where none exist, and that undermines our own unique beauty and potential.
So the challenge is to practice self-acceptance, focus on the good, and see our inherent value.
Yeah.
And when we do that, we project a more positive image to the world.
Exactly. It changes everything. Golden rule number 4. Believe in miracles. I think this one can really change how we handle life's challenges. Now, this isn't about ignoring reality. It's about being open to possibilities, even when things are tough.
So it's choosing hope over despair, right?
Right. Joshi has some incredible stories about people overcoming huge odds, stories that show just how strong the human spirit can be. But he also talks about appreciating the magic that's already in our lives, cultivating that sense of wonder.
So it's not about waiting for this huge life-changing miracle, but noticing the little everyday miracles, those moments of joy and those happy accidents that we often miss.
Right, like appreciating a sunset, having a heartwarming conversation, or even witnessing an act of kindness. When we're open to those little miracles, we create a more positive and fulfilling outlook on life.
I love that. This next one is a classic for a reason. Golden rule number 5, know your priorities. Joshi uses the analogy of the jar, rocks, pebbles, and sand to show us how to focus on what really matters.
It's such a good visual, isn't it? Those rocks are the big things. Family, health, our passions, those go in first. Then come the pebbles, work projects, social stuff. And last, if there's space, the sand. Those distractions that can suck up our time and energy.
But if we fill the jar with sand first, there's no room for the rocks.
Exactly. So we need to regularly ask ourselves, what are my non-negotiables? What brings me joy and fulfillment? Once we know, we can make sure we're giving those things enough time and energy.
It's about making conscious choices about how we spend our time, making sure our actions match up with our values and goals.
Exactly. And sometimes we have to say no to things. Which brings us to golden rule number 6. Avoid procrastination. Now, we've all been there. And Joshi reminds us that it's not just laziness. Often it's fear, perfectionism, or feeling overwhelmed.
He talks about real time versus virtual time. Virtual time is when we're stuck in our heads, dwelling on the past, worrying about the future. instead of being present.
And the present moment. That's where our power is. It's the only time we can actually do anything, make a change. So we need to see our procrastination patterns, the things we put off, and find ways to come back to the now.
Maybe that's breaking down a big task into smaller steps or setting deadlines to get us moving.
Exactly. The key is to figure out what works for you and be kind to yourself in the process. Procrastination is super common, and overcoming it takes practice and self-compassion.
Golden rule number 7 is all about connection and compassion. Be the kindest person you have ever met. This isn't about grand gestures or being perfect. It's those small, everyday acts that make a difference.
And Joshi really emphasizes that kindness has a ripple effect. When we choose to be kind, it not only impacts the person we're kind to, but it inspires others to be kind too. It spreads outward.
It's like that saying, be the change you wish to see in the world.
Exactly. And remember, kindness can be simple.
Yeah.
A genuine compliment, lending a hand, just listening to someone who needs it.
And sometimes being kind to ourselves is the kindest thing we can do.
Absolutely. Self-compassion is just as important as compassion for others.
Well, that's quite a bit to think about already. Maybe we should pause here.
Wait, there's one more rule I think we should squeeze in before we break.
Okay, let's hear it.
Golden rule number 8. Give hope to others. Such a powerful idea, and it connects beautifully with kindness. Joshi highlights how hope can be a lifeline, especially for people who are struggling.
He talks about research with mice. Those rescued from drowning swam way longer than those who weren't given any hope. It's like they learned the situation wasn't hopeless, that rescue was possible.
And that knowledge kept them going. It reminds us that hope is a powerful motivator, a source of strength when things are tough.
So how can we apply this in our lives?
Maybe it's lending an ear to someone going through a hard time, sharing a story of your own resilience, or reminding someone of their strengths. It's about being that light for someone when they need it most.
What's really interesting is that giving hope actually benefits us too. It strengthens our empathy, our purpose, our connection to something bigger than ourselves.
It's true. It creates a beautiful cycle of positivity and support.
Okay, I think that's a great place to pause. We've covered so much already.
We have, but there's so much more to explore in 50 Golden Rules of Life.
I feel so inspired and motivated to put these golden rules into practice. What about you?
Me too. Joshi's insights are so insightful and practical. They give us a real guide to living a more intentional, fulfilling, and joyful life.
If you're looking for wisdom that will challenge you to think differently and live with more purpose, 50 Golden Rules of Life is a must-read.
Absolutely. It's a treasure trove of wisdom. And for those wanting to dive deeper, you can grab a copy at Embassy Books.
Until next time, happy reading, everyone.